What's up, guys? So today's gonna be a little different topic than we normally have on this channel when it comes to e-bikes, but if you guys clicked here, you're here because you're probably in the same dilemma that I am. You have about $6,000 and you're thinking, do I get the Eride Pro SR or do I get the Altis Sigma? The Sigma's been on my mind for a minute now, but we see Eride drop the Eride SR. So we see them drop that bike, obviously, to compete with the Altis. It's been snowing, so I did not get my garage cleaned in time, so I'm sorry it's a mess, but let's go look at the bikes and kind of talk about what I'm trying to get out of my bike and what I am looking for out of this purchase. If you guys want to see a full side-by-side comparison where I break down a lot more of these two bikes side-by-side, go ahead and check out the other video. I'm going to do it separate. Now, obviously, I don't think these two options of bikes are for someone who is their first bike, so these are going to be some high power bikes. It's amazing how much power electric bikes have compared to gas. I obviously have grown up having gas bikes. I love two wheels no matter what it is. If it's two wheels, I love it. I love being on one wheel if there's two of them. So I generally have not been super impressed with a lot of the bikes out of the box up to this point. We've built a lot of modified Razors for the past 5 years or so, and they've come a long way for what we have and what options we have out there. We also help a lot of people build Razors and kind of find what they're looking for and what they're going to need as far as parts and budget wise. So when you come from these bikes from the standing point of understanding a little bit of tuning, understanding the battery, the line amps, all these numbers that are confusing and we don't want to understand when we see electric bikes and E-Motos, I'm a little more familiarized and just not being super impressed with the regular Sur-Ron Lightbee or like the MX-4 out of the box. Until this last year, these bikes have really stepped it up and kind of caught my attention to where it's like, wow, that does look nice to have a full bike that I don't need to modify, turnkey, and I can just ride it and enjoy it. So there's a few main selling factors to me in this bike that is leading me away from the DIY scene, from going with like a B2 or something like that, because I love Bomb Moto. We had the B1, we absolutely loved it. And we actually just sold that B1 along with the Honda 450R, my Honda Grom 125 that was slightly stunted out, because I want something that's more usable. The problem with those gas bikes is I just don't use them anymore. I've gotten older. I don't want to really fall off of that big 450 as much as I used to when I was younger. And I really don't have time to maintain or change the oil or deal with any of the maintenance that I used to kind of enjoy to do with the gas bikes. Now I more enjoy tinkering with my electric bikes just because it's less moving parts, a lot easier to wrap your head around once you kind of understand it. And it's kind of enjoyable to have the tunability and the power to just control and change what you want with the click of a finger. So for the most part, the bikes out of the box haven't been that way, and you have to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars, and all of a sudden you're at $10,000 to have something that competes with my Razor. Yes, the suspension's better. Yes, it's more waterproof and it's a better unit overall, no doubt about that. But budget-wise, it just didn't make sense to me. Now seeing these two bikes for around the $6,000 mark, that does make sense. I don't want to modify these bikes. I want to just buy them and turn them on and use them. I do enough modifying with my other bikes. We do a lot of cool custom builds. I just want to do little aesthetic things to this bike and leave it at that. This bike will get me back into trail riding. I want to get back up into trail riding. The 450 was just getting to be a hassle, where I think picking an E-Moto is going to make it a little bit easier when camping to just rip around camp, rip up and down the trail. I don't know why. If you guys understand E-Moto, you kind of understand it just has its ease of ways, turning the key, not dealing with the bike, the motor. I hate to say the sound, but the sound. And I think it's going to be a really fun option to have a lot of power out of the box. And now these bikes are starting to have that tunability, as well as actually come out of the box with like high watts that actually impress me. Because you guys have to understand, we can build this for $3,000, which definitely is no Altis Sigma or anything like that, but we do have Apple CarPlay, we've put speakers in, we have all kinds of different light options, different speed modes and regen buttons. So there's all kinds of fun little different ways to go about building these bikes, but when it comes to just buying one turnkey, I want to just buy it and turn it on. This bike will do 60 miles an hour and runs right around 12,000 watts. And so our Razors are pretty pimped out. We got Apple CarPlay on here. We got speakers on board. We got USB chargers in here. We got underglow and all kinds of fun things on this bike with our working blinkers and taillights and hazards. So there is perks to doing your DIY, which I obviously have enough DIY. So another thing we of course need to be doing on this bike, besides like doing some casual mountain trail riding up in the Rocky Mountains, is going to be wheeling down the streets, of course, on some ride outs. I want to just kind of have this out with Surons and on those bigger group rides where maybe I don't feel like being on my little Razor, or on the Vegas ride where I was held back because I couldn't get my Razors wet with the weather. I want something I can throw in the back of the truck. Not really care if it's getting rained on. We did do a review on the Eride 2.0 that my brother Dan has. And he leaves that thing in the rain. He has abused the crap out of it and has had no issues. So I do trust Eride a lot. I've heard good things from them. We all know that they're an established company. Not too long ago, they came out of nowhere and were a totally new company that we were all thrown off by as well. And I know a lot of people are saying that the Sigma is a brand new company and they're weary because it is brand new. Some people are also kind of thrown off that they did the prototypes, and I kind of like that they did the prototype. Let me know what you guys think too, but I mean, the prototype to me is kind of a good way to see what your customer base is thinking of your bike, and if they're going to complain about it and they complain about it, you want to do a good job upgrading it. And from seeing some of the new footage coming out that has just been released of the production model, it looks like they have addressed a lot of that stuff, but we'll see more and more of that to come soon. So the Ultra B, of course, is kind of in question when we're looking at the other two bikes. For the wattage, I'm just not really impressed with the 12,500 watts anymore. I'm actually not super familiar with the hairpin motor compared to like a surface magnet motor and IPM motor that we see more traditional in a lot of this stuff for this time. So if you guys know more about that, let me know too. I'm super curious and need to do some homework on the hairpin motor. I know that obviously they're saying it's used in cars and is a great thing for efficiency and whatnot. So maybe it's a great step forward and we'll start seeing more and more hairpin motors coming out in these bikes. Now it is kind of cool to see these bikes going toe to toe of who's going to do better, and they're both awesome bikes. No matter what bike I get, I think I'm going to be incredibly stoked with it. Like, great power, great bikes, full-size seats, like just a lot of upgrades from the kind of regular E-Motos that we've been seeing for the past few years. But, it's just a tough move because it is a lot of money, looking at around $6,200 to $6,300. When it's finally shipped to my door, all said and done, everyone keeps saying around that $5,500. When you look at both of them shipped to your door, I'm seeing right around $6,200 to $6,300. So that is a lot of money to just drop on a bike for me. I do want to make sure I'm not regretting what choice I made when I pull up to someone who has the other option and I think, geez, I wish I got that one. If I do pick one that's maybe slower in a race, I want to make sure it's for the right reasons. I don't know if I'm looking for that top speed, but I do want it to go faster than my Razor, which I'm used to doing 60 miles per hour on. So let me know what you guys think about all this. We'll be super curious. I do have all the bikes sold at this point, and I am ready to pull the trigger. It's just a matter of, I don't know what way I want to pull the trigger in. So we'll see as time goes on what these reviews come out and say, and we'll see what I end up getting. So appreciate you guys for hanging out, and we'll catch y'all next time. Peace.